Films based on video games are known as terrible, cringeworthy disasters that completely miss their mark and have no substance. But why? Filmmakers are used to basing stories off of all types of other content: novels, comic books, plays, real-life events. So then why are films based on video games more arguably terrible? We live in a time where every film is a reboot, sequel, or adaptation to an existing franchise, so believe me, we're gonna see a lot more video game films. So we should try to figure out what the problem is. My name is Derek Sellens, and to find out, we're going back to the beginning of video games. Mario was first seen in Donkey Kong in 1981, and then received his own game, Mario Brothers, in 1983. The games were incredibly simple. Mario's an everyday Joe, an Italian plumber, and a man on a mission to save a princess. Dude needs to get laid. I get it.
On his way to save the princess, Mario has to defeat, or just hop right past, an army of colorful, non-threatening baddies. Little mushroom guys called Goombas, you got turtles, ghosts, cloud guys, hammer guys, killer plants. It's a colorful and fun ride. Eventually, you must confront King Koopa, or Bowser. This is the final showdown, the epic battle that you've been building towards. Or you can just hop right past him too, because that's actually really lame. Mario immediately became a huge sensation, defining the video game industry for years to come, while still holding the record for best-selling video game franchise of all time.
I'm the best! I'm the legend! Suck it, Sega!
Mario began to appear everywhere. Apparel, toys, games, cartoons. It was only a matter of time before Hollywood smelled money.
But can Mario make a good film? Absolutely!
Well, this comes down to the question, what is Mario really about? It's about the damsel in distress. It's an action-adventure. There are tons of movies that take this theme and run with it. Robin Hood, Princess Bride, Taken, Never-Ending Story, Star Wars, Forrest Gump, Spider-Man, just to name a few. The hero goes on a magical adventure to save the woman he loves. One of the most primal and easy to understand plots in cinema.
A Mario film could easily take its place in this genre. So how did it turn out?
They're brothers. They're plumbers. They're on the trail of a kidnapped princess. Super Mario Brothers. This ain't no game.
Guys. Okay, so we didn't picture like a dark, edgy Mario, but maybe the film will surprise us and have a good story with some cool action. We can at least give it a shot. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we present the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Alright, so the first shot of the film is already a red flag. Did they already run out of budget? It's like they gave Don Bluth 20 minutes to animate exposition in Microsoft Paint. So apparently the meteor that killed the dinosaurs split our universe into 2 dimensions, and dinosaurs evolved to look like people in this alternate dimension. Not off to a good start. After you get past this, the film's opening is actually pretty well done. We follow a mysterious woman as she flees some kind of danger. She's forced to leave her baby and the film's MacGuffin at an orphanage. Yeah, that seems legit. I'll take that.
Did you deliver vaginally?
I did?
Big girl. Must have hurt.
The egg hatches into a human baby, which turns out to be our princess for the film. Now we finally get to see the Mario Brothers. They're exactly what you'd expect them to be. Just 2 average Joes down on their luck living in Brooklyn. I mean, I would have pictured Italy, but Brooklyn's fine. Now we see our princess all grown up. Her name is Daisy and she's working as a paleontologist. She bumps into Luigi at a payphone. This is where the audience starts to understand the hardships of being a pretty white girl. Every single guy this girl meets gets super creepy on her.
I've got a few problems, but...
Well, you know, we got a van.
We're not even 10 minutes into this film and this movie's already gotten stranger danger like 4 times already.
It's broken though.
Well...
Seriously, the guys in this film have like 0 standards.
2 arms, 1 head, 2 legs. Koopa's gonna kill us if we blow it again.
Well, you failed at this before? Did something fall off of the other girls? These 2 guys, Iggy and Spike, have been kidnapping women in search for their princess. So like any other girl that didn't have any parents to teach her any better, she gets in the van. And she goes on a date with these 2 creeps that she met on the street. Luckily for her, the date actually goes really well.
Oh, I was abandoned.
You mean you don't know who your mother and your father are neither?
This is actually a really cute and believable reason for these two to actually like each other. It doesn't feel forced. After the date, they continue to talk, and I think they might have ad-libbed this scene because it has an authentic kind of awkward.
Look, weird is working in a bone pit all day and then spending your nights reading about things that have been dead for 65 million years. I mean, that is weird.
I find it fascinating.
And I mean, you know what? If you just want to end this right now, I would understand.
Yeah, a woman with legitimate interests and a respectable career. No one would ever want you, lady. In an effort to put herself in an even more vulnerable position, Daisy takes Luigi down to the dark, creepy tunnels where she works, and where nobody can hear her scream. The landowners hire a couple of plumbing goons to sabotage some pipes.
Kelly's been trying to force us out ever since we got here. It's sabotage. You're a plumber, right?
Oh, yeah!
Dude, how could you forget that? I've seen where you live. I know how you decorate.
We need your help.
Strap your belt on, kid. We're going in.
Now this is pretty neat because it's one of the only times that you'll actually see Mario doing legitimate plumbing work in order to save the day.
Hey, you see that? I'm a plumber, that's what I do.
Iggy and Spike use this distraction to kidnap Daisy and make a run for it through some weird portal. Luigi tries to save her but just ends up grabbing the MacGuffin crystal. Alright, so this is where the film starts to get weird. This new world they enter is absolutely gorgeous. The production designer for the film was David L. Snyder, who was the art director on Blade Runner, and it really shows. I was a teenage mammal XXX. Get your mind out of the gutter. They're just playing I Was a Teenage Mammal and XXX starring Vin Diesel. This film is rated PG. They would never put something like that in there. Now we're introduced to the film's antagonist, King Koopa, one of the most hideous villains ever put on cinema.
When do we beat Mexico at the border? They're laughing at us, at our stupidity. And now they're beating us economically. They are not our friend. They're bringing drugs. They're bringing crime. They're rapists. I love the Mexican people.
He doesn't seem like the game's villain, though. He's more businessman than giant turtle dragon monster. While on the street, Mario and Luigi get the MacGuffin crystal stolen, shot at, run down, and eventually arrested for being illegal immigrants while hanging out with hippie musicians. At the police station, we learn that the screenwriters didn't want to be held responsible for creating a last name for Mario. So this happens.
Name? Mario. Last name?
Mario.
Okay, what's your name?
Luigi Mario.
Okay, look, how many Marios are there between the two of you?
Mario and Luigi Mario.
Is that a foot?
Why? Why do I have to ruin my legacy with this terrible film? It's terrible.
So Koopa's not really after Daisy, he's really after that MacGuffin crystal, because it's the one thing that can combine the two dimensions back together. So he pretends to be a lawyer so that he can get them to tell him where they hid the crystal, and it's kind of convoluted.
Who's this Koopa clown? We gotta talk to that goofball now.
He's not a war hero.
Why? Why not?
I like people that weren't captured, okay?
They have no respect for human life.
No one touches President Koopa!
I am so confused!
You're telling me?
So Mario and Luigi escape and try to make their way back to the dimensional border.
Aliens? Oh, we gotta deal with aliens too?
Luigi, we're the aliens!
The audience is then treated to a really neat and exciting chase scene that ends with a Michael Bay shot, complete with pointless explosions.
You must be the great Koopa.
You know, you could see there was blood coming out of her eyes, blood coming out of her wherever.
Man, this girl cannot catch a break.
Excuse me, sit down. You weren't called. Sit down. Sit down. Sit down.
I just hope he doesn't grab her by the
Oh my gosh, what a creep! I'm gonna hit him on the head with a frying pan!
Mario and Luigi head to this nightclub to get the MacGuffin crystal back from Big Bertha. Because of course that's her name. Oh my god, this place is insane. Just look at all these strippers.
They hired a whole bunch of strippers to be in the scene, and they were too scantily clad. The ladies wanted to reveal everything and they couldn't, and I mean, we didn't mind, but it wasn't the appropriate PG rating that we were looking for.
Oh, it gets better. Mario goes cleavage diving face first to try to retrieve that crystal. In a twist, Big Bertha helps them escape because it's been a while since a man flirted with her just to steal her jewelry. That's actually really sad.
Cops! Goombas! Daisy! The Rock! The Tower! The Rock! Cops! Daisy! Goombas! The Tower! The Rock! Daisy! Goombas!
Are you just looking at things in the office and saying that you love them?
I love Lamp. I love...
Jump! Okay!
They sneak into Koopa's tower and suit up in costumes similar to the video game.
You see, they got that part right.
While Mario and Luigi distract the Goombas by making them dance, Daisy meets her father, the old Mushroom King, who got de-evolved into fungus. Pun. Mario and Luigi finally make it up the tower to reunite with Daisy and meet the fungus.
Oh yeah! Don't they still have your girlfriend captured in the basement?
Oh no! I will save them!
Thank God! I need a new boyfriend! I'm sick of being captured!
So Mario runs ahead to save the day, just before Koopa arrives.
For a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States.
I'll kill you!
Until our country's representatives
You murderer!
figure out what the hell is going on. These are people only believe in jihad. They don't want our system.
Mario saves the girls and takes them to safety via Universal Studios ride.
Are you alright?
The final conflict with Koopa begins. Lena gets a hold of the film's MacGuffin, pointlessly electrocuted, and heads off to do something with the thing. Koopa gets knocked into a giant bucket that looks kinda like his little pod from the games, which is kinda neat. Luckily, Mario has to actually fight him instead of just hop right over him. Lena succeeds at doing the thing with the thing to combine the universes, with some more pointless electrocuting. She is having a bad day. Mario and Koopa shift universes along with some other structures.
Look! It's Koopa's tower!
Those guys will do anything for publicity.
What?
Those guys will do anything for publicity.
Okay, what the f is happening? These people shrug off the Twin Towers getting destroyed, now they're laughing at a guy who was just turned into an animal with a ray gun. I would be running the f out of there. And then the universe is split again and everybody's sent back to where they came from as if nothing happened. So all of that was just to add a monkey joke in this film.
Oh, it's so bad. It's so bad.
Mario and Luigi use Koopa's own de-evolving gun to turn him into something that looks more like the video game villain. But why even bother doing it, because he just immediately turns into primordial soup. The citizens are thrilled, the old king returns, and of course Daisy decides to stay behind to help the rebuild. You'd think that would be the end of it, but you'd be wrong. They actually thought there could be a sequel from this, so it ends on a cliffhanger.
You're never gonna believe this.
I believe it.
You do?
I believe.
I mean, that was an experience for sure, but I don't even know where to start with this one. So maybe we should take a look and see what was happening behind the scenes.
The film had two directors, a married couple, Annabelle Jankel and Rocky Morton, who said this: "I don't think either of us had ever involved ourselves in the game at all, which might have something to do with the end result."
When given the problem of conceptualizing a movie based on a video game, the filmmakers turned it on its ear and dreamed up a mythical prehistory.
The first question that came up in our minds was, where did it all come from and why did it happen? And then that sparked off this whole thing about dinosaurs, and that we found this theory about a meteorite hitting the Earth, and that was the reason why dinosaurs disappeared.
The first thing you should think about is the main character and what he represents. You know, a centralized theme, not what happened to dinosaurs.
Filming did not go well. The producers in the studio were not happy with what they were seeing from the film. Rewrites were so common that actors stopped bothering to memorize their lines. Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo started drinking scotch between takes just to handle the absurdity of the set.
Why they cast the John Leguizamo? He looked like a gangster who would shoot down Al Pacino.
Filming wasn't just stressful and irritating, it was also extremely dangerous.
I got stabbed 4 times, electrocuted, broke a finger, nearly got drowned.
And so I gunned it, right? And then they said stop at that mark, and I stopped as hard as I could. And the door came flying out, smashed his poor little Bob Hoskins fingers. And for the rest of the movie, you'll see that his hand, it was the right hand, is kind of stiff because it was in a cast, and they painted it pink, so it looked like fingers. But he's holding the weapon like they attached it with tape or something.
Before the end of filming, the directors were fired and told to get off the set. Damn.
The worst thing I ever did, Super Mario Bros. It was a nightmare. It had a husband and wife directing whose arrogance was mistaken as talent. Bob Hoskins.
With the directors pulling one way and the studio pulling another, and a bunch of video game references that needed to be thrown in, this film had no idea what it wanted to be. It was an action, a comedy, a drama, a sci-fi film, but there was one area where this film really excelled, and that was being an extreme political piece.
Politics were a huge part of this film, and almost every single political issue that we're struggling with today was touched on in this film. The idea of big money in politics. The villain was a rich tyrant whose name was on everything. He owned most of the city and held most of the political power.
Hail, Koopa.
The concept of rigged elections, where one favored candidate is practically worshipped and predestined to win, establishing a fake democracy. Anti-intellectualism and anti-education. The Goombas and Koopa followers are praised for being unevolved, unintelligent buffoons. And as soon as they become just a little bit intelligent, they're able to see Koopa for who he really is.
A not so benevolent dictator.
Fascist, oppressor of the proletariat.
There are no regulations for weapons or firearms, making this place extremely paranoid, violent, and trigger-happy.
You shouldn't wander around without a weapon.
Yeah.
You got one?
No.
All right.
Get him up, sucker! Let me go! What are you doing?
A militarized police force that runs an overcrowded prison system that politicians get special access to. Absolutely no freedom of speech.
Hey, wait a minute! You can't arrest a guy that's just singing a song! For anti-Koopa songs, we can!
This guy was literally singing about how politicians and big business were destroying the environment.
Ain't got no water anywhere. Food's bad. So's the air. Got no resources in a great big stupor. All because of the evil King Koopa.
There are actually several anti-environmentalist messages from the state. The environmentalist, don't worry, we'll get more. There are even quick jabs that Koopa works against women's rights and union laws.
This is a violation of our civil liberties.
These pipes have been serviced for years.
Must have been a non-union job.
This film really piles on the political issues. And that's great, but not for a film made for kids from 1993.
Kids are more interested in easy-to-understand topics, or at least topics that they deal with on a day-to-day basis, like sharing, or friendship, or teamwork. I know I wasn't thinking too much about fascism when I was playing Mario on my Super Nintendo.
We grew up expecting to live in that future from Back to the Future 2. But all this time, we were really moving towards a future like the one from Super Mario Bros.
He says he's my distant relative. I don't see any resemblance.
Alright, I think we can all agree that this movie was a complete mess. When making a film, it's okay to stray from the subject matter a little bit to make it your own vision. But when you stray too far, you start to lose your core audience. You know, the people you made the film for. This film suffered from weird choices, conflicting tones and messages, and just cringeworthy dialogue. And the results are fascinating. And maybe that's why this film has been the subject of so many reviews. It's hard to judge something that's so strange. You hate it for feeling wrong, but you respect it for at least trying something new and being different. So I rate this film 3 invincibility stars and 4 ba-bombs out of 10.
...2007, Los Angeles.
If you enjoyed this film review, be sure to like and subscribe. Next time, we take a look at Double Dragon. It's gonna be bad. Spoilers. It's gonna be real bad. They're all gonna be bad.